Alright, hello everybody. It's been a while since I made a summoning video, and usually I don't talk in them because it's like midnight and I'm like half asleep, and it's been a while since I've played this game in general. Honestly, it was just getting too hard. But this is a momentous occasion. We're gonna get started because this is a pretty big deal. We're gonna go for the 40 pulls because that's a thing that we can do. And I spent a lot of time playing Forging Bonds to get the tickets and everything, so I hope that's worth it. So yeah, as you may know from the title, we are absolutely going to summon Lord Anankos today. One of my favorite characters in Fire Emblem, because he's one of those characters that nobody knows. Not nobody knows, but literally nobody knows because of the fact that oh, Marth! Why are you getting Marth? Wait, you're not Byleth or Chrom. Hang on. Literally nobody knows Anankos because of the fact that there's a curse that he put where anybody talks about him, then he dies. At least in his own world. The Forging Bonds, okay. For a second I thought that was 5-star. The Forging Bonds conversation, I just read it, kind of answers a question I've had, which is, does the curse of Valla extend, oh, come on, no blue orbs, extend outside of that universe? Of which I would think the answer is no. And it seems that they can talk about him here without any consequence, which is good. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about this character because I've been waiting for him to get added for a long time. But it's not the good guy version of, it's the one that's been corrupted and betrayed and has absolutely lost his mind because he lived for too long and now is watching everything crumble with his fingers. Am I getting this right? Okay, let's review the story of Anankos a little bit because we can. There's the evil version that we see in Revelation and in Heirs of Fate, which is the DLC. The one that we see here is from Heirs of Fate because it's his human version, but corrupted. But then we meet his soul and we see what he was really like before all of this happened in Hidden Truths when he meets Odin and Laszlo and Selena. Or at least that's when they became Odin, Laszlo and Selena. And Anankos is a god that really cares about humanity and people, who doesn't seek to control them but instead give them the opportunity to grow and thrive. But then he also knew that someday he would become corroded, lose himself if he stayed for too long. And that's why he created a song and a pendant. The song is called Lost in Thoughts All Alone. You might have heard of it before. Is this so? Okay. So if it's a tap and someone's like, wait, is this something cool? No, but anyway. Oh, come on. Sorry, I'm losing my mind a little bit. Get rid of, I don't know, all these characters. And that power was to be handed down through Valla's royal family. But unfortunately, the most recent king of Valla, who was tasked with singing the song, instead got killed by Anankos as he went mad, and didn't get to do that. And thus we see the predicament we're in here today. But of course, as we know, that was Azora's father. And now she has the power instead. But of course, then she lived in Nor and had to survive through all of that. Went to Hoshido, and all the while keeping the secret, not being able to actually rally forces to her cause. And being all alone, really. Who are you? Oh, Vanessa. Who are you again? Freya, even sacred stones. Okay, hello. Apparently I didn't have you yet. But yeah, I just think Anankos is one of the coolest designs. And I'm really happy that, you had such a cool hairpiece. I thought you were somebody different. Like a 5-star character. Because, I'm still trying to collect all the characters, even though I hardly play this anymore. Oh, hello, Odin. Long time no see. But it's so cool that we finally get to see new art of Anankos in his cipher art design. This is the version of his outfit that he has in the cipher art, but it's it's his possessed form. Not possessed. He's not possessed. It's the corrupted form. I guess he is possessed and possessed by bad thoughts. Horrible thoughts about people and stuff like that. And yeah, I don't think a lot of people have seen that character design for him as much as they've seen the dragon self, because that was in Revelation. So I think it's kind of cool. I also wouldn't have minded if they made it was this self, but then he transforms into a dragon. That also would have worked too. But it's so cool how he has those water powers, he throws the bubbles at people kind of thing. You know what would be even cooler? The good guy Anankos coming over and doing that. I was listening to his voice lines too, because I saw it on YouTube. And he mentioned Kadros, who was a character who was only mentioned in Heirs of Fate, and he's the old king of Valla that he compared to Shigure. By the way, I thought there was going to be Shigure in the Forging Bond story, because of that kind of connection, but I realized, nah, because he's already talked to Shigure in the story, and he's hardly talked to anybody else, so this is a chance. But you know what is so cool was finally seeing the Hidden Truths Awakening trio, Laszlo, Odin, Selena, talking with Lilith. They should have done that a long time ago. In fact, I can't believe we made it through the entirety of Revelation and those four never talked to each other before. Despite the fact that, just as Lilith said, they all share a special bond, that bond being I don't think I have you. Hello, Zelgius. I didn't have you. Okay, cool. They all know about what happened in Hidden Truths. They all know about Valla and Anankos, and they all know about the good guy Anankos too, who died. And it was really nice to see them, I guess. Well, we worried together, but also that's an interaction that I think should have happened in the original. Since the whole point was to go and stop evil Anankos and, basically carry through all of these promises that everybody made to each other. The Awakening Trio and Lilith, they all made promises to the good Anankos. They would help Corin. And I kind of hoped that they would talk about that in the game, but you know what? The mistake has been fixed now. It's not. They kind of talked. Let's look at the conversation afterwards. But yeah, super glad that they went with this design. They would get new art for him. That finally, I feel like, in a way, Fire Emblem Heroes is like the Super Smash Bros. Of Fire Emblem. And so when your character gets in the game, it's like this really cool moment. And that's kind of like what I feel like right now. And on my other channel, my main channel, I had that series. Well, I have that series. I've never really finished it. Where it was just me doing a lot of writing stories and stuff like that about basically my fan fictions but it basically had a lot to do with stories of what happened in Valla, because I think that there's a lot of lore there that wasn't explored, but something I think I'm really grateful to this character for is opening this whole door. Why are there all green orbs, by the way? There's never green orbs when I need green orbs, but now when there's no character on green to get... Okay, I thought this was a 5-star. Whoops. Okay, without... Thank you, I'm safe now. I heard they didn't have him, though. Bastion? Okay. But yeah, I've done a lot of writing thanks to just all the creative doorways that were opened. And learning about, you know, this whole kingdom that once existed in this magical realm and was presided over by a god who only sought to protect people in their own interests. But perhaps in that greed almost, I don't want to say greed, but it's a little bit of, I think even he would use the words, it's a taste of selfishness almost to stay behind and watch over humanity when he knew exactly what would happen if he stayed too long. Alright, come on. We gotta gush over the artwork a little bit more. Seething silence in Anankos. I am Anankos of the first dragons. Why have you called me here? Simply to kill, or is there more? Well, you see, I am a fan of your work, at least before you became this version of yourself, because now you just want to kill people, because you've been hurt and betrayed inside. But also, it kind of goes, it's kind of, because, wait, this is not it. What is duels? I don't even know what's happening in this game anymore. He feels betrayed because people started attacking him after a while, but to be fair, it was because he started attacking them first as part of his madness, and people lost faith in him. And well, that's just what happens. Where are you? I gotta put him in the team. It's because I have all the feathers out and I want to collect those too.
Where now?
Are you able to call to your side any being you wish? Bring me the King of Valla from days past. Okay, so that's another thing, is I saw like some of the dialogues and stuff and I was like, oh my god, at first I was like, oh my gosh, they mentioned Kadros from Risen Fate. That's awesome. And he talks a lot about him. And I'm like, okay, why are you only talking about him? And I realized, oh yeah, that's right, because of all the historical Valla characters and all the tales of the past that I know of are all my fan fiction. And I sometimes forget that, wow, there's actually almost no Valla lore in that game, despite a whole route dedicated to stopping him in Valla. Like, I wish there were more historical characters, like, and stuff like that. There had to have been. The implication is that that whole kingdom was once a thriving society and had interactions with even the other kingdoms, so Shido and Nor, but that they were also quite advanced as well, right? And yet, when we get there, it's completely razed to the ground, and there's nobody like there that like has any living memory of what was once there, including Anankos, because he's losing his mind, right? Anyway, I don't know, it's because one of these days I want to write. I want to get back to writing one of these days. I've been busy and I have other interests, but you know what? There's so much potential with these characters.
Explain.
And like I said, you know what?
I do not know.
I am still hello, Azora. There's certain interactions that I want to see happen. That's where many of the stories I wrote came from, like Mikoto and young Azora, or Anankos and Mikoto, and other ones that I actually have more stories written on my computer. You know what? I should just fix one of them up and then make another video, because you know what? Those were fun. Those were fun, writing those. Exploring all the interactions. Like I think like Anankos and Azora, I'd wonder what they would say to each other. And also we're differentiating between like the evil version and the good guy version, who is, you know, really nice but almost too nice, to the point that he kind of just, and he wanted to give everybody everything, and almost like with karma that just didn't work out. But yeah, there's definitely more characters that he would have met in the past. But I do agree that probably Kadros was most important to him.
Where now?
Is it so wrong to crush that which is beneath me? Oh, I'm so sorry you feel that way now. So much to wish for that I've lost. And he tore his soul out so that he could fully immerse himself and embrace himself in these negative feelings of all the hurt and the loss that he has. But then that soul still wandered on and was still able to do so much more. And I want more. I want to see that guy more again. I want. Okay, but in the moment, it is so cool that we have like new art of him though. Like that's awesome.
Where now?
Because humanity does lots of way. You forget your debt. My blood does not come for free. Yeah, maybe that wasn't such a fantastic idea. I mean, the whole giving blood to people thing was like, yeah, that's a lot of responsibility. And you want to make sure that there's somebody with your blood there to sing the song at the end. And yet somehow the person that was supposed to do it died right away. Not working out well for you, dude. So here we have Lilith, but it's happy Lilith because she is in an actually better place for her now, not just some pawn, the whims of somebody else. You're worrying me there for a minute. Is everything alright? To tell you the truth, the horses have been acting a little strange. That's right. Okay, another thing is, I mentioned on Twitter, it's like, I just realized that Valla and Anankos is going to have a Forging Bonds conversation. That means he's going to have more dialogue than in the entirety of Revelation. So then I read through this Forging Bonds conversation. Oh no, it's evil Lilith. Then I was like, huh, alright, maybe I was mistaken. The Forging Bonds conversation, he does not talk more than he talks in Revelation. Okay, it does baffle me a little bit though, that the entire point of that path is to go fight the bad guy, and he hardly gets a chance to say anything. Yeah. You remember this flavor of unease, don't you? As if you could ever forget your connection to supremacy. No! Try as you might to suppress that fear, you cannot keep him out. Would you give more detail on that? No. Alright. I do think that, considering that they went, in Heroes, they actually went for a design for Anankos that wasn't even in Fire Emblem Fates or the DLC. Like yes, it's the design, but he was wearing much more simple clothing than that. All like the kind of patterns that he has on his robe were from the cipher art. I kind of wish that they came up with a new outfit for Lilith too in her fallen form, because at that point she hadn't become Corrin's attendant yet, and there's no way she would have been just dressed as a maid like that in her fallen form. I kind of wish that she would be like a princess, kind of like Vale. I haven't played all of Engage, but I got to the part where like Vale was like the fell princess or something, like that kind of design. The horses do seem to be in a good mood. Oh, it's you three. Did someone put a curse on them? Don't look at me. I may be a proud descendant of darkness, but I would not curse an innocent beast. There's Lilith. Hello, Lilith. What is it that you wanted to talk with us about? There is something I want you all to hear, as people who are aware of Anankos, the silent dragon. This is like I said, like this is like the conversation that definitely should have happened before this. What? Anankos? That's what this is about? Oh, wait a second. Shouldn't you not be able to speak about any of this outside of Valla? If someone hears, we could all disappear. Really? Is somebody hearing the whole thing about the curse? I would think that just speaking it aloud would do the trick. It's alright we're talking to Lilith, right? She already knows everything. She's Anankos' daughter, after all. Right, well, we're all sitting here, so it seems like it's alright. So I guess in Hidden Truths, the first one, when Anankos is afraid to talk about Valla when he's visiting the three of them, it probably would have been fine. In fact, it probably would have been safer to talk about it there. But he didn't know that. Nobody knows that. I mean, do you really want to risk trying? Like here, they're just talking about it, but they've already established that it's a thing they know they can do. But if you don't know if the curse extends beyond the borders, I guess it's only fair that, well, is it really worth trying it if the cost is your life and you will die instantly if you talk about it? You're the only ones I could discuss this with. I believe it may be my unease that is spreading to the horses. I've been feeling more distant, and I had a truly awful nightmare. Anankos, the silent dragon, appeared to me. In my dream, Anankos hated the world and everything in it. In his madness, he sought to destroy humankind, forcing Nor, Hoshido, and Valla into conflict. But his hatred could not be sated. It always demanded more. Anankos grew aware of the worlds that lay outside this, and his hate found a new target. Yeah, and that's actually the entire premise of Heirs of Fate, isn't it? He goes and invades other worlds too. But if you finish Birthright or Conquest, then you get your happy ending, the end, except for the fact that Azora dies. But that's it, the end. She totally didn't die with a secret that she was supposed to do something about after the war ended. And therefore, everybody else is going to die now. I mean, whether it's Anankos from another world or Anankos from that world, you guys didn't do anything about the big disaster coming in, so I guess just take that to heart. If you play the other two routes, the Hoshido and Nor routes, everybody dies in the end, right? At some point, maybe it's a couple hundred years down the line, but who knows? He may come to ask her then, if your vision is true. Would he be brought here like we were by summoning? If Anankos learned of Asker, there's no doubt he would view it as a target. And that can only lead to terrible things. With such power, he truly is a force of nature. Odin! We don't need to scare Lilith any more than she already is. Yeah, that's pretty scary. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare Lilith with all of that. Even if Anankos were to be summoned here, Anankos would be bound to the summoner the moment he arrived, so it would likely be safe from him. Do you really think a human can hold back a dragon with such incredible power? You're right. Now you're the one scaring Lilith, Selena. You'll spook the horses too if you're not careful. You're right, sorry. If the summoner's power proves insufficient to suppress him, Asker will be laid to waste. You! The Silent Dragon's advanced troops have finally revealed themselves. Get behind us, Lilith. It's alright. We should hear her out. Hear her out for now. The hatred of King Anankos will swallow every world. All living things will meet their end. The future he desires, the future in Lilith's dream, King Anankos will make it reality before the end. No! That can't happen! You know I speak the truth. Father's blood courses through your veins the same as mine. You know the depth of Father's hatred for humanity. You know annihilation cannot be avoided, or such a force of destruction be brought here. If Father were to set foot in Asker, destruction would sweep across the land as an unavoidable consequence. You're not wrong that if Anankos and his hatred were to force his way into Asker, it would be disastrous. We're supposed to be the ones who are able to do something about this, but you didn't! What did you guys even do to stop him at any point in time? That's your whole point for coming to a whole other world. And there are versions of this world, of history, where nothing gets done and then you just go home. And that's not what Anankos would have wanted, is it? I mean, he would have been okay with you doing anything, because he was pretty adamant. It's like, I'm not gonna force you to do this, and I know you guys have lives back home. I don't have a life except for asking you for help right now, so that's all I can do is plead for help, and I understand if this is not your fight. So I guess he wouldn't be that upset if they left. But I thought they would anyway. The fact that there were a few characters that know about Valla, but only Azura was the only one that was actually, I guess with Corrin's help, because, the power of friendship and everything, was the only ones that are actually able to drag people down to Valla to actually do something about it. Like, it's true. The part of Anankos that still has goodness in his heart asked us to save the world from its end. You do not have the strength. But if there were any possibility this world could survive, well, there's a possibility? Oh yeah, and the fact that Selena mentioned the other Anankos, please tell me this is the opportunity that he can come into the game. I know, you know what, Mythic Anankos is still a possibility. Now that this version's been released, probably that possibility has been pushed back at least a year or so. Not gonna lie, but there's still a chance. I'm still praying for the kind soul version of Anankos, the one that I actually would worship, would I live in that kingdom. This may be no more than my imagination, but here in Asker, heroes have been gathered and much potential lies within their many hands. And there may yet be a future in which a path that eases Father's pain opens up before us. Are you saying that it's possible that Father could be freed from his long suffering? He believed himself betrayed by humanity, abandoned all reason, and was driven to madness. If he was able to regain his trust in humanity here in Asker, then it's possible Anankos could come to his senses? What are you getting excited over? Were you not just listening? This is no more than my imagination, surely. But even you would prefer it if it was possible to save Anankos, would you not? I am Anankos' faithful servant. My desires for whatever he wishes, it is as simple as that. Father, if your trust in humanity could be restored, I believe we may be able to change your path from that of ruin. Please, Father, if it's possible to trust you again. For you to trust again, sir. I am the forgotten god, the betrayed king, the buried dragon. Who was it whose words have come to me now? All before me is consumed by darkness. All that remains in my heart is the memory of betrayal. So in the end, I never get my wish. He has about the same amount of dialogue in here as he does in Revelation. But, I mean, that's an interesting thought. Is maybe in another world. I mean, I assume anything that happens here in Asker in connection to characters from other worlds is non-canon to me. So I guess I wouldn't mind it. If there is this notion that Anankos could be saved, that somehow he can regain his mind again and work with people again. I mean, that's a really nice thought. And in this world where it's I consider it to be an alternate universe, I think I'd be okay with that. But in terms of like in the actual story, I don't think that's what Anankos would have wanted. I think that he understood. Oh gosh, I don't even remember if this is actually what stuff that he said anymore, or if this is stuff that I wrote that he said in parts of the hundreds and thousands of pages, not thousands yet, but hundreds of pages worth of like stories I have on my computer is, I think, oh yeah, Lost Lore, that's right. Right now they're actually going over the story in Revelation, and the final thing is the bottomless canyon. They're not even gonna make it to Valla in this Lost Lore. All right, they're gonna get there. They're to there, and they're not even gonna. We're not gonna actually see anything that happens when they're there. But I think that Anankos would have appreciated that sort of cyclical nature of the world, that you can't have something be constant forever and ever, and if the world continues to be watched over by gods, they won't have that sort of freedom for themselves. A little bit like Milla and Duma in Shadows of Valentia. I think he had that I think, yeah, he did. He mentioned this in Hinge. I think he did have that appreciation for people, and the fact that he left his power with them so that they could end his life someday, so that way, and then continue on without him, shows that I think he understood that eventually there would become an era where he was no longer needed to protect them and to guide them, that someday they'd be able to stand on their own. And I think to honor that, letting him go, to move on, is what he would have wanted. Even if he never gets to see the world again and can't experience its wonder and glory, or its all its wonders. Or I used to have like the words he said when he was dying and Lilith was there. I used to have this script, like I used to know it so well, but I think that's what he would have wanted, is just for that, to be released from that pain, to know that everything would be okay once he's gone. That's, I think, the path that he would have wanted. I mean, in here, if there would be some way to help him heal and to regain faith in humanity and work with them again, that would be nice for this world. There's lots that they could learn from him. But in his own world, the era of gods is over now. And he lives on in his with Corrin and Lilith, his children, and also Azora, who was a descendant of those he gifted blood to. You know, even if they never know that better side of him, somehow it's like, at the end of Revelation, Azora says something about, like, I think Anankos wrote this song for us someday, and that's what the lyrics mean. Is it was his hopes and wishes for people, that they would let him go and move on, and he'd be happy with that. You can tell. I know. I would dare to say that as somebody who's never played Fire Emblem Fates, I know the game very, very, very well. I mean, okay, I don't know the combat mechanics and that kind of aspect that much, or because like I've never played it. But in terms of like the lore, like when the pandemic hit, I for some reason reading Fire Emblem Fates lore was just became like my new thing to pass the endless hours of time being locked away at home. And I guess now, since I'm making this video, I get to showcase some of it, except I'm not, because as you can tell, I'm very disoriented, and I am just taking time in the middle of the day to do this, so I really wasn't prepared for anything specific I wanted to say, like, which is completely different than any of the videos I made, where I've thought of for a long time of what I want to write and say. This is very spontaneous. I hope to do a better version of this kind of like analyzing Valla lore and talking about Anankos and Lilith and Azora and all those characters. I hope to do a better version of that someday when they release good guy, still believes in humanity, hasn't become corrupted yet, Anankos. It will happen. I am crossing my fingers, and yes, I've been wishing this for literally years. Like, I think it's been like 3.5 years I've been like hoping that they add this character to the game. But it will happen. He's even been mentioned like in the story. Like there was like that one Hoshiden festival and they mentioned him. And then of course slowly they've been building up to adding him with like adding Lilith and Fallen Lilith. And when they added Fallen Lilith last year and I predicted it out of nowhere and that was awesome, then I figured, well, the prediction of him Fallen Anankos this year isn't so far-fetched because they often do characters related to a character from the previous Fallen banner the following year. Oh yeah, I'm really happy for all the Risen King Chrom fans too. I know they've been waiting for him for a long time, and I feel like there's that sort of like almost like solidarity between like the Chrom fans and Anankos fans in terms of like finally getting them in the game and in like some cool like cipher art form that didn't really show up in the game, but absolutely deserves the representation it's getting now in Fire Emblem Heroes. In fact, actually, you know what? I might pull more. No, you know what? I can't pull more. I literally can't pull more. I don't play this game enough to stack up enough orbs to actually reasonably pull for any characters anymore, like I used to, which is why I don't post as many. I just haven't been playing the game that much. And I'm not gonna lie, in the trailer, when Maria's thing popped up, and then Chrom as well, but when Maria's thing popped up with the skills, and it just started scrolling, I just like bust out laughing so much. So I was like, wow, this is the point in the game now, where we have that much stuff to read in order to know how to play the game. What do you have to say? Yeah, I already saw that.
Where now?
It is humanity that has lost its way. Okay, wait, I have to do this.
Where now?
Yeah, but I like... Sorry, I should read that. I like, the King of Valla from days past. I wish there were other characters in Valla. But when you write stuff, you can make your dreams come true.
Where now?
You believe me, Matt. Do you have anything else to say, or did I skip over it? Alright, I actually gotta go soon.
Where now?
Valla was paradise those days. Their melodies are lost. Smiles on faces I no longer remember. I see. So the lore reason is that he doesn't remember, and nobody remembers. Nobody remembers Valla anymore. Everybody who does died, and that's why there's so little lore about it in the game. But there are so many stories buried there. Wonderful times that even if everything ended in ruin, I'm sure the journeys must have been wonderful. All right, I actually gotta go now. But have a good day, everybody, and I will see you soon.